4:30 in the morning. I don't think I've ever set an alarm this early. I don't trust the snooze button, so I exit my bed one limb at a time. Right, shower, chew on some bread, and hop in the taxi I pre-booked for 5 a.m. I'm still in disbelief about this, but I'm travelling to Madrid alone. I've taken a step out of my admittedly tiny and somewhat elusive comfort zone. Due to Air Cullen's limited schedule from Shannon, I had to choose between 2 nights and 7, the latter of which would be way too long. There isn't that much to do in Madrid. I'm sure I can get it done over the course of almost 3 days. 5:24. If this bus leaves on time, I'll only be stuck here for 6 more minutes. The bus station is dead. The only noise is coming from across the street, where some gentlemen are enjoying what I will generously refer to as a nightcap. The bus arrives and departs on time. I have 2.5 hours to make it to Shannon Airport. You can fly from Shannon to Madrid with Air Cullen as long as you're willing to put up with their shenanigans. I found all sorts of stuff online about delays, baggage issues and rude staff, but there are also many customers who took an "it's cheap, put up with it" approach. Mind you, it isn't so cheap when you choose the Air Cullen Preference Plus option, which allows you to travel with a bag big enough to store more than one set of clothes. Apparently I'd also get to board before people who chose the regular fare. I've been in this airport for 2 hours, the first of which was spent almost alone, apart from a tiny stream of passengers and a perky cleaner doing the rounds. I've managed to quadruple check that I have everything. Passport, check. Charger, check. Lonely Planet Guides to Madrid, check. Lonely Planet. That's my kind of publication. I wonder if they'd be interested in my autobiography. Toiletries, check. Clothes. Did I bring that t-shirt I like? I mean, it was there during the first 4 checks. There's always a chance it might have disappeared in the meantime. I'd better rustle through my bag just to be sure.
Passengers with Preference Plus for Air Cullen's flight to Madrid, please proceed to the gateway.
This must be what it feels like to be a VIP. I get to join a queue of about 20 people. I look at the rest of the chosen few. Some pensioners, there's a Hiberno-Hispanic family and a pair of overdressed men. An Air Cullen air hostess appears and unbuckles the cord from the security barrier. This is the promised land.
Yo me encuentro triste solo, buscando por la calle mi camino. Yo me encuentro triste solo, buscando por la calle mi camino. No es que soy un vagabundo, que ni quiera en el mundo mi camino.
We've been squashed into our tiny airplane seats for 45 minutes. This is our apparent privilege for paying extra for Preference Plus. The people with ordinary tickets have been sitting in more comfortable and more spacious seats in the lounge while we've been stuck here. Eventually they start piling in as we tick past the scheduled departure time of 8 a.m. I have a window seat that was beside 2 empty spaces during Preference Plus boarding. It has now been infiltrated by 2 separate lone travellers. There's an older Irish woman in the aisle seat and a Spanish woman in the middle, the latter of whom was sizing me up as she entered the row.
Excuse me?
Oh my god, she's talking to me. Hi.
Are you traveling alone?
My heart has started to pound. 2 fellow lone travellers who just so happened to end up beside each other on the same flight. The universe has brought us together. We might end up visiting El Prado together, and she might introduce me to her friends. Yeah, I say, while just about containing my enthusiasm. All those years I never once took a risk. I never once went to a foreign country. I've taken the plunge, and within a few hours I've made an associate. She starts to semi-smile while also looking slightly bashful about what she's about to ask me. No need to worry. No matter what she asks me, the answer is going to be yes.
If you are alone, maybe you can change the seat with my boyfriend? We don't pay for Preference Plus, so we don't sit together.
Okay. I whisper and nod as the shock takes hold. I may have slightly jumped the gun there. I imagined us walking to that park in the centre of Madrid together. The only walk I'll be taking because of her is a rather humiliating shuffle by the overhead locker to withdraw my Preference Plus bag before I waddle towards the Spanish guy gleefully awaiting.
Thank you.
That smirk on his face makes me feel like somehow he knew about me getting carried away when his girlfriend started talking to me. The plane takes off, almost an hour late. We're subjected to opportunities to buy scratch cards, perfume, and even what they call essential tourist items, such as Air Cullen sunglasses and an Air Cullen alarm clock, which I presume wakes you up at 8 o'clock when you set it for 7.
Another on-time flight from your favorite airline, Air Cullen. Last year, 90% of Air Cullen flights arrived on time. Thank you for choosing us.
On time! We're over an hour late. I grabbed their brochure from the pouch in front of me to look into this. I scan some of the pages and find an image that features text about Air Cullen's punctuality. Let's see. It turns out their definition of on time is a flight that arrives within 3 hours of its scheduled arrival time. That's an incredibly generous margin of error. Worse yet, using this ridiculous metric still only left them with a 90% punctuality rate. That means that 10% of their flights were delayed by more than 3 hours. This is a fascinating study into statistical manipulation. I've just arrived at my accommodation. I ultimately chose to try my luck as a youth in a hostel for €15 a night. I hope they don't cancel my reservation upon checking my passport. There's no explicitly stated age limit on their website. I should be okay. I just hope this dorm isn't too grim. I'll be sharing it with 7 other supposed youths. Here we go.
Welcome. We have a common area, a bar, board games, free maps of the city.
Sounds like I've made it. It looks like a reasonably nice place. I walk through the common area and notice a massive billboard-style sign on the wall. It says, "There are no strangers, only friends you've yet to meet." I wish I could share their optimism. My life has taught me that it's more a case of, there are no strangers, only people who have yet to start avoiding you. They have a small collection of books. 1984 and Brave New World, a dystopian starter pack waiting to be half read and spoken about ad infinitum by a Spanish lone king. There's a book in Spanish, Cien Años de Soledad. I don't have enough Spanish to gauge whether or not that sounds like my kind of book. They also have relaxing tea for those who are so inclined. Mind you, it'd have its work cut out with me. As well as coffee for those who wish to make a sacrifice at the temple of Caftor, the god of coffee. Not me. I just want to sink myself into a bottom bunk. It's night, and I've only left the hostel to get food. I'll leave the bar and the attractions for tomorrow. This dorm is fairly inactive. People don't seem to hang about here. They show up, dump their bags, and then conk. The lights have been off for a while, so I don't know much about their age profiles. I did see one middle-aged man walking around unnecessarily topless. It's not even that warm. One slight concern is that there's a gentleman snoring in the corner, and it sounds like an electric saw. He occasionally tosses over and seems to unplug said electric saw, but within half an hour it's up and running better than ever. 4:17 a.m. I fell asleep at around 11, 12, 2, 3, and probably somewhere else in between. This snoring is unbearable. I've tried to wake him up through different means, coughing and intentionally dropping my water bottle in the hope that he'll fall back asleep without snoring. I think I woke him up once, and he was back sawing within 10 seconds. I'm wrecked. Just let me sleep. 7:30. I wouldn't mind people making noise in the dorm at this time, if it had been quiet during the night. I'd say I slept for about 4 hours between the different snoring sessions. The people rising don't seem to have had any trouble sleeping. I had an early start yesterday. I'm not having another one today. 10:49. This is an acceptable time to wake up. I've been in Madrid for about 24 hours and have spent most of that time in bed, evenly split between sleeping and trying to do so in vain. I've only really left the hostel to eat. It turns out the local food is mostly sandwiches, both 6 inches and footlongs. Admittedly, there may be slightly different food available to people willing to venture beyond Subway, but such wonders remain hitherto undiscovered. Right, I'm going to venture out of here. I just need to go to the...
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Let me guess. She's also travelling with her boyfriend but didn't pay for a private room and wants me to disappear so they can have sex in the shared dorm. Finn.
Where you from, Finn?
Ireland.
Ireland. Cool.
I'm guessing you're from Australia.
Got it in one. I just got here. What's your plan for the day?
Mope about this place all day and then fail to sleep at night? I don't really have one, I say.
Me neither. Wanna go for a beer?
I'm not sure I fancy a beer before midday. She's also very high energy, but loners can't be choosers. I'll never see her again, so I could have any type of conversation with her, either as Finn Rossiter or as someone else. She doesn't need to know that I'm travelling alone because I have no friends. For all she knows, I'm an undercover socialite. In the 15 seconds between us leaving the dorm and arriving at the reception, she manages to invite 2 other people to join us. Retiree Bob from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Marcus from Germany. 100% of the people I've met here are up for morning pints. Is this a hostel or a halfway house? The bar serves food, so we manage to eat something before any alcohol emerges. However, before that, the catering staff offer us coffee. Okay, if I plan on socializing, then I must blend in. I'm going to do this.
Coffee?
Yes.
Milk?
Yes.
Sugar?
Yes.
How many?
How many? Sugar is uncountable. How many watts? Packets, spoons, granules? My brain short circuits and I blurt out, 4. I watch on as the guy dips his spoon into the sugar bowl on 4 separate occasions. The resultant drink is like how I imagine liquefied candy floss would taste. As I struggle with the coffee, our table turns into an idea zone in which every possible tourist activity is floated. Marcus wants to go to a football stadium. Bob keeps recommending markets that feature precisely nowhere in the guides. It's 4 p.m. and we're still here, on our 3rd round. We've just been sitting here, firing out ideas, picking at pastries and drinking. Jennifer is the centre of everything. The first person to finish every round, and the person who seems to give equal consideration to everything. If I'd proposed a trip to an abattoir, she'd probably react the same way as if I'd proposed a trip to El Bral. If Luke were here right now, he'd put her agreeableness to the test with his sordid suggestions. The afternoon has given way to the evening, and we're still here, drinking and making plans that are now impossible. We've been going to the bullfighting arena for 4 hours, and it's now closed, and we haven't even left the hostel. This evening is just like every evening in Loner Club. We're just talking, planning, drinking, staying stationary, and reaching varying levels of intoxication. Bob is already slurring, and Marcus has begun to look restless, although he has taken on the role of explaining football to the non-believers.
This match doesn't matter. The rivals won the league last week. They have to play even though they can't change anything.
In English, we call that a damp squid.
Damp squib, actually, I say with a touch of Dutch courage. I think you'll find most squids can survive quite a bit of dampness. Explosive squibs, on the other hand. This comment provokes 3 completely different reactions. Bob's face tells me that he is more certain that he's right about damp squid than anything else in the world. Marcus is nodding, but he has no idea what we're talking about. His English is good, but conversations about the difference between squib and squid aren't exactly entry level. Jennifer, on the other hand, has let out a series of high-pitched guffaws that have left me sceptical with regard to their authenticity. However, she has left out quite a few social laughs thus far, and didn't commit to any of them like this. She might actually have found humour in my comment.
More beer for you, Australia, Irlanda, Germany, Grandpa?
Asks the waiter. Whoa, Bob did not like that one bit. His eyebrows have taken on a life of their own.
I think you'll find age is just a number.
All right, Epstein.
It's a joke.
Bob doesn't seem to see it that way. He leaves within 10 minutes of this comment and slowly makes his way to his room. Before too long, Marcus disappears too, and I can feel my fatigue catching up with me. I might call it a night.
Finn, the night's young.
I only slept for a few hours last night.
A shot of Jaeger will solve that. It's on me.
A strange-looking thing emerges in front of me.
When Irish eyes are smiling.
Not sure I was smiling when I drank that Jaeger stuff.
People ask why I always stay in hostels. It's because you meet such great people.
Hostel isn't an oxytone. The stress is on the first syllable, I say.
Wow, you know all about languages and stuff. You're so smart.
I really want to go to bed, but it's strangely satisfying hearing that I'm smart being verbalized.
I like the way you're not afraid to travel alone. You don't need to bring your friends everywhere with you.
Don't need to / can't because they don't exist.
I can't even call my friends because the time zones are impossible.
I know. I say this before realizing that I only know in the context of my cover story. I never actually decided which time zone my friends in Australia should be in. I'm in dangerous territory here. I could finally trip myself up. If anyone were to uncover the truth, it would be an Australian. I need to call it a night. Jennifer does everything in her power to keep me in the bar, but ultimately gives up. Jennifer has also decided to call it a night, and we make far more noise than anticipated in opening the door and trotting in. She still seems really eager to chat. Luckily her bed is at the other side of the room, so I won't have to worry about breaking the hostel's silence after 10 rule. I lie down and initiate the process of drifting off when I hear a noise right beside my bed. I turn around and see Jennifer, armed with a blanket.
Finn, my mattress is so uncomfortable.
What? I ask in a bemused tone.
I can't sleep on it. If I can't find another bed, I'll have to sleep on the floor.
Good luck getting a different bed sorted on the basis of your mattress not being comfortable. Will that not be really uncomfortable?
Yeah. How's your mattress?
Well, it's fine. I imagine a hostel would get all their mattresses wholesale. I don't see how ours could be so disparate as to... barks someone from across the room. This interruption sends a shockwave through my body, but Jennifer seems strangely buoyed by being chastised.
Are you going to leave me here on the floor?
She actually expects me to leave my bed in an act of solidarity. I thought she was handling her drink well, but it turns out her brain is actually currently mush. Try your bed for an hour, and if you can't sleep, go to the reception.
Okay.
She looks so disappointed. She really expected an act of solidarity from me. I followed a 4:30 alarm with a night of rugged snoring. I'm not following that up with a night on the floor. 9:56 a.m. Finally a good sleep. Snorri Gallagher wasn't afoot. Mind you, no one's afoot now. No Jennifer, seemingly no Bob or Marcus. Soon enough there'll be no Finn either. I'll be leaving Madrid in a few hours, so I'll finally explore a bit of the city. I ask the receptionist if I can leave my luggage here for a few hours, and he accedes on the basis of me writing a review on TripAdvisor. Deal. I'll do it now at breakfast. That was an awful breakfast. There were bits of ham in the scrambled egg, and they put olive oil on the bread. This would never happen in Subway. At least I got my hostel review done. Following this, I wander around Madrid, taking photos of the plaza in the centre as proof that I did indeed leave the hostel, proof no one would request, mind you. I listen in on a free walking tour, eat an ice cream, and head back to the hostel to collect my luggage.
Don't forget the review,
says the receptionist as he hands over my bag. I already wrote it.
Ah, let's see.
He types into his computer and scrolls for a few seconds.
Here we go. Finn. 6.5 out of 10?
He doesn't seem over the moon. He doesn't even look up from his screen. What's his problem? I agreed to write a review, and he's looking at visual proof of me keeping my side of the deal. 6.5 out of 10 is the equivalent of 3.25 stars, which is incredibly generous for a youth hostel. It almost seems like he was expecting a favourable review on the basis of them storing my luggage. There's a code of integrity when it comes to TripAdvisor reviews. I wonder if I can write a TripAdvisor review of Air Cullen. I'd only need 3 words. Stay at home.
El camino, mi camino, el camino del